So I returned to the flea market this past Sunday. And at the flea market, I hadn't been to the flea market. And I did a whole thread on Twitter that I'll link here as well. And I hadn't been to the flea market, I think, this year in 2019. I might have went early January, but definitely for sure, I think I remember going December last year. I just haven't had time or working on the book, and just the energy wasn't there anymore. And plus, I don't film for Flea Market Madness anymore. I have about 13 in the can. I'm going to edit, hopefully starting later this year. And then I'm going to put them out Netflix style. I'm going to drop them all at once. No, I'll do like one a week. I'm not going to put out all the Flea Market Madnesses I have left until I edit all of them. That's my plan to do that. So what I want to do though, what I want to do is just have them all lined up, edit them all like within a month and a half, and then put them all out. But anyway, back to the flea market. So I wanted to go back to the flea market because I want to see what I was missing out on. I wanted to see if it was still the same feel, the same quality, and it was downhill the last few years. So I went back. I got there at 8 a.m., not 7 a.m. Beautiful weather, like 60 degrees, shorts, but not cold enough for a sweatshirt. Sun hadn't come out yet, so it was like the sun was out a little bit, but it was beautiful. Perfect San Diego weather. Best weather in the world. And then I found some stuff there that I was not surprised I saw, but not shocked. But in terms of game stuff, yeah, it was slim pickings. Again, I didn't get there until 8 a.m., but I was talking to people, even people that had some game stuff out, and there was not a lot of game stuff there. Wario, real quick. Wario was hurting. No one was at Wario's booth at 10 a.m., 10:30 buying games, where he originally had a bunch of NES games. He had just PS2 games. He had some NES games, but they were in the back. Oh, Wario, this isn't 10 years ago, buddy. The NES game hunt is not what it used to be, and especially at your prices. But he still has stuff for sale. I see it on his acrylic shelf for years. He still like a Dragon Warrior 2 that he had like 5-6 years ago that he hadn't sold. But the NES stuff was definitely not in the forefront like it used to be. It was like newer stuff, but no one was there. So what did I find at the flea market? I found overpriced Super Nintendo games like a $15 Stanley Cup and a $15 Vegas Sticks. I found $5 Genesis games. Now, that's why I was kind of surprised that the $5 Genesis games were still there. This is how I know that either the interest is down or there's not enough as many buyers as there used to be. Because if I was collecting this stuff, like there was a Mortal Kombat 3, not an Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, that's hard to find, but Mortal Kombat 3, there was Bubsy 2, there was a Frogger, all in box, complete in case, a Terminator 2 arcade, a Batman Forever, Street Fighter 2 Champion. They weren't $2 each. If they were $2 each, I would have bought some. But $5 each, it wasn't a terrible price, but I expected there to be less of these there at that point in time. Like, oh, Sonic the Hedgehog, $5. Maybe a random person would want to see that and buy it since they grew up with it. No, it was still there at like 10 a.m., 10:30. Those games. I found a $5 Defender of the Crown by itself. I found my $80 Little Giant ladder that I was looking on eBay and on Amazon a couple days before for like $220, $230. I found it for $80. Ooh, I said, now I'm adulting with power. I found a few ColecoVision and Atari 2600 games no one cared about. A couple of ColecoVision games without a label, probably common ones. One was a Mousetrap because it had the insert. I didn't even ask the price. They're probably $2 or $3 each. I found sealed 3M Scotch 5 1/4 floppies for $3. DVDs for 50 cents that 10 years ago would have been $5. When I first moved to San Diego, DVDs were $5. Within 10 years, it's hard to give these things away now. I found a stand of NES, the bootleg NES minis with the 300 or is it 620 games built in for $40. I found a stand for them, and I saw a couple sell. Found some starting lineup hockey figures. I bought Brian Leach because I love Brian Leach. Other stuff, TurboGrafx 16 lot. Now, this doesn't count because this is my friend Derek who knows what this stuff is worth and it was a game collector. Is a game collector. So we had a TurboGrafx 16 with 3 games for $150. It's actually not a terrible deal in this day and age with legendary acts, TV sports football, and world-class baseball. But obviously, it's not a deal. If it was like $50, that'd be a deal. And he had the video game preservers in the box I bought from him. And then I found some AWA Remco figures that you never see at the flea market. The Long Rider, someone told me on Twitter. So like, there's still stuff to find. I'm not going to count the ladder since that was $80. If you don't count the ladder because that's not video game stuff, I still spent about $25 on stuff. Is that an official flea market at that point? $25, $20, something like that. With the wrestling figures, $20, 25. So it was still fun, but it taught me the reason I love the flea market is I like just getting out of the house and having an excuse to go out, and you talk to people. So the people that there was like 5 or 6 groups of people, including an older Mexican couple that they love me. And it's funny because I always forget their names. They forget mine, but they told me how much fun they had on vacation going to New Zealand and Australia. And the woman came up and hugged me. She said, "Hey, nice to see you." Hasn't seen me in 8 months. Said, "I thought you moved." And then I saw my buddy Luis and his son Isaac. That when I first went to the flea market, he was like yay big, and now he's taller than me. Like 7 years later, now he's he was like 8-year-old, 7-year-old. Now he's like 16-year-old with girlfriends and. See him grown up before my eyes, like he's like a surrogate son, and they're happy to see me, and a few other dealers that I deal with and I bought stuff from. They're like, "Oh, Pat, good to see you." A couple of dealers I didn't see there, but a chunk of the ones I did see there. It was just good to commiserate, even though I'm a customer to them. I bought from hundreds of dollars worth of stuff from them over the years, but that made me feel good, the interaction, and that made me realize like I should go back just for that alone, just like for the social aspects of the flea market I like. Even if I'm not finding the stuff like I used to, I think the social aspects I like. Now, I can't make a Flea Market Mana series out of that, just saying hi to people that I haven't seen in 8 months. But honestly, if I was filming, I would have been able to make an episode out of this just from the interactions being fun and not seeing people I hadn't seen in a while. It's been a while, but from the stuff I found that I thought was worth it. So it's not the same flea market. It never will be. The height of the flea markets, it peaked 2012, 2013, as I said before. Definitely by 14 it was done. We'll just say 2012. The first 4 years I was here. Not the same. It's never going to be the same. Less sellers, less things to buy, and this would be a perfect day for sellers at the flea market as well because it was like beautiful weather. Even when I left with the sun out, it was like maybe at most 79 degrees, 80 at most. When I was there, most time it was like 65 degrees, 70 degrees. So not the same. It's a different world now. Different world from where you come from. And Wario looking sad trying to sell his stuff there. Yeah. Just not doing it the same way Wario. My arch nemesis. I don't know. He says know who I am still, which I think is funny. Maybe that'll be the reveal of the last few minutes. I'll actually interview him, have a heart to heart, and we'll hug and we'll swap kisses. I don't know. What am I talking about?